Welcome back to another episode of Talking Tarkov. I'm the EarLegAthlete here with,
Hey Dizzle.
and today we're taking a look at some recent news in a cryptic browser game. Let's get right to it. So, like I said in the intro there's a cryptic browser game that Nikita alluded to and kind of posted about with all those cryptic messaging and all that stuff that was going on. I think, me, you, and Hot Sauce and Crack talked about it last week a little bit, kind of speculating that it was pointing towards Icebreaker in some way. That was at least kind of what we were speculating potentially. Like maybe they were tying End of Lines and Icebreaker, maybe trying to tell some kind of story about Tarkov or something, right? Um,
Right.
but we later found out later in the week, once all the riddles were solved, Nikita posted, "Hey, riddles are solved. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah." And he introduced core.gg. And it's interesting. You've definitely spent more time in it than I have. I've only kind of looked around at it. I logged in and I started messing with it, and I got to the part where it was like, well, tell us what's wrong with this, and I was like, I don't know how to code, so I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. And I also didn't really have time to dive into it much. It does look interesting. But can you kind of, just in a brief summary, I suppose, break down like what you're doing or what it feels like you're doing? Because like we talked about it before this episode started, like before recording, right? And we genuinely don't have any like good ideas or like anything too specific, and I don't think anybody does. Maybe some people that have really
Right.
solved the puzzles and stuff in there, but can you give it some insight as to what may be happening or what it appears to be happening with this whole thing?
Well, I mean, what we can for sure say is it's set in the pretty far future. I think 2100 or
2150,
2200. Yeah, somewhere around there.
something
And
like that, 2152
you
or something.
are on a spaceship. Um, it appears that you're definitely you're a worker of some sort, or you're like processing like packages, like mail. Also has something to do with the arms company. Like you're
Yeah,
possibly like uh, in control of like shipments for this war that's going on or something. It's there's so much information, but so little concrete information. Um, it's basically a story. You're on a computer and you're trying to go in and figure out the story, and you got to do that by reading a lot, like a lot.
it is a lot of
Um,
reading. Even just off the
yeah, there's a
start, you
message
you have
board.
a yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got a message board. You have different logins. You can log in with your own, but you can also log in as other people and read their messages, get their information. Um, there's a radio signal where you can like move the dial and try to get the right frequency, and you can get story information from that. There's also this game where like you start a task, and your task is to figure out where the code is broken or what's wrong with files, and you have to figure out why they're not matching, or something in something like that. There's a few different ones, but most of them are pretty similar. But yeah, it's just a bunch of like reading and story, and you're basically just doing that for right now.
Yeah. They have dropped, a handful of pictures and things on the Core GG Core Corp Twitter page. Go ahead and show some of that now. And there's been some like manifests, I would call them, right? Subject shipment
Yeah.
number 2847, and you'll see a theme as you read through this stuff and as you go through it if you do dive into it a little bit. It seems like shipment 2847 is kind of like what we're on the hunt for, what at least what the core guys are currently looking for. And what do we know about Core Corp? Do we know, like, outside of they're just like the arms dealers in this, or have we not really figured out much about that?
I believe they are like the shipment provider. Not necessarily just a shipment provider, or they're the weapon maker. Maybe they're definitely involved in shipping and manufacturing of weapons.
Yeah, and that's abundantly clear. I mean, just in this first post, good day. Our monthly inventory review has detected an irregularity or even an error. Shipment number 2847 headed towards redacted. Station 18 has not been received. Our losses or our logs don't show any losses or anything like that. As the overseer of the Jupiter sector, I would like to request a copy of the shipment manifest from Core Arms. Respectfully, Thomas Eisenhorn. And the Thomas Eisenhorn guy has been, I think, the one that's made all the posts so far. From Thomas Eisenhorn, CADL, Ring 6 administrator, T.Eisenhorn at whatever.com, two Core Arms international. Oh my God, two Core Arms internal support, internal at whatever.com, subject number, shipment number 2847. But we get a bunch of these images too, and they look like they're on some planet. There's definitely some futuristic high tech stuff going on here. This looks like dude's rocking a router on his head. You know what I mean? Like some sort of stable
Yeah, like
connection,
this route.
constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here is the core site when you go to the website. The website being, oh, I can't remember. It's like os.core1gg. I don't know. Or dot, I don't know. You can find the website
The
pretty easily.
actual website, yeah, the actual website is just core.gg, I believe.
Well, when you type core.gg, unless there's a .com after that, it takes you to
Oh,
the
yeah, it's os.core3.gg.
yeah os.cor3.gg.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
.gg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but when you go there, this is what you first see. You click move closer, and it'll have you state, are you logging in with an email or an ID, and then it'll ask you, have you log in with that stuff, and then from there you get into all the reading. I is probably the best way to call it,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah, yeah.
it is just a lot of reading and a lot of clue following and trying to piece things together. And if you know coding and stuff, I suppose it's probably easier than maybe it is full on coding to a degree, like finding where the issues are. Maybe they've set it up in a game like style to where if you just read and pay attention, you can figure it out. Just haven't had time to really dive into it yet. Is my
Well,
big thing.
on that stuff, there is a help bar. I haven't clicked it yet, so I imagine if it's too hard and someone knows absolutely nothing, you could probably hit the help bar and it would probably guide you. Um, but I've been trying to, the little bit I have played, I've been trying to figure it out
Do
myself.
it on your own, yeah, for sure.
Um, but yeah, you're just on a terminal and you have uh, daily ops, which are your tasks. Um, you have new tasks every day. They refresh every 24 hours, but you get a streak. If you complete one every day, you start to get more and more credits. So there's definitely some kind of credit system. There's a reputation system. You have a balance up in the top corner that shows like how much credits you have yourself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's definitely a lot going on. There's a lot here. I just don't know where it's headed because it could go so many different directions.
Well, like all things Nikita related, we'll figure it out with time, right? Like that's always the
Yeah.
big factor with Nikita posts, whether they're cryptic or what, the clues, the little crumbs and everything. It all comes to fruition eventually. Um, so, with the main goal of whatever this website is, whether it's just a browser game for fun, just to help people learn coding, or whether it's something that turns into a real full-blown game. I don't, by the way, I don't think it's just a website for learning how to code. I don't think Nikita
Right.
would do that. I don't think that's, it, but what
Well,
I'm saying
because
is
we
no
need to
matter
point
what it
out,
is, we'll figure out where it turns into and what it evolves into over time.
yeah, and we need to point out, rumor has it right now that this is just a Nikita involved game, not a BSG involved game. Now,
Yeah.
there's no for sure say on that, but BSG's name is not on this game at all.
Right.
It's a totally different studio, so
Do we
it
have the
could just
studio name
be.
or
Um, I have seen it. Hold on one second.
while you look for that, I'm going to go over this post because this one is interesting and it kind of like probes a bit. Um, Location A4 on, in quotation, blue. Date redacted 2251. Source Intel report. CMU Unit 516 reporting. B4 is stable. No further anomalies detected. No traces of the event are in place. The magnetic fields are non-active. Local population remains ignorant. Proceeding as planned. And then we get the image of some war-torn, destroyed city landscape-esque, maybe like some freeway type stuff. And a detached, body here. You got the top half over to the right and the bottom half on the left, but you can clearly see it's like some sort of body. Dude's just potentially walking through with his crew doing whatever they're doing. We don't know. Maybe this is like some sort of drop ship. I also want to take time to point out Nikita had posted like all that ginormous picture of nothing but ships, right? A fuck ton of ships. You remember that?
Yep.
It was all like
Yeah.
I don't know if they were models for this upcoming game potentially, or if they were just ships from around the world of gaming and fan fiction and sci-fi and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Potentially could add those things in, or maybe it was even him prodding or pointing to some sort of clue that we just weren't putting together yet, because that happens a lot with BSG and Nikita. Or we should lean this towards Nikita instead of putting BSG in the line, because again, we don't think that they are connected, at least not at this point. They they'll post things that don't make any sense to us way ahead of schedule, and then when it all comes together, it's like, oh yeah, remember that post in 2024 or 2021 or whatever, it's like that was tied to this in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, this was just an interesting post, I thought, because it kind of tells us a little bit, just a fraction of information, right? CMU Unit 516 reporting some sort of group. B4 is stable, some sort of sector. No anomalies detected, something crazy happening. No traces of the event are in place. The magnetic fields are non-active, which kind of leans towards like a nuclear device of some sort, potentially. Local population remains ignorant, so there's people that are here, and then, they're still working on some sort of plan. Whether this thing happening or not, it wasn't gonna stop them, right? So it's like, who knows what it's actually pointing to, but there's a lot of information in that small, paragraph there.
Well, and the further you dig, the weirder it gets, because Core 3 is
The crypto
pretty
stuff.
established. Well, it's established in a lot. It's a real estate privacy company. It's a esport development company. It's a disaster recovery company. It's a commercial architect and design company. It's a government DHS.gov company. It's got its hands in everything.
Is this
And they're
Core
all labeled just
3
as Core 3.
Capital, Core 3 Designs, Core 3 Investment Department or
Well,
Investment Partners, Core Nikita teasing new game Core 3, Core 3 and Co. Holdings Ltd, COC Company Profiles and Facts, Core 3 Capital, Core 3 Mechanical, Core 3 and Co. Hodglings or Holdings. What the fuck? Hodglings. I can't read good. Yeah,
but that's
there
what I'm
are a
saying.
fuck
Its
ton of like,
name, yeah, its name is on so much stuff. It's almost impossible to know if this is tied to that. But it's
yeah,
weird that this name Core 3 is tied to so much, but not registered to a certain company.
not specifically. Yeah. And I mean, maybe it's
Yeah,
like you can't just take COR3 and call it your own, but you can, right? You absolutely can.
yeah,
So
because that's
it is
that's
weird. It's definitely weird.
yeah. And there was um one cool one I seen where it says basically they are into just developing like future internet answers and like being kind of like an AI type company where they're just like trying to help out with different things. And it's like I just don't know if like that's
That's
the
also
developer for
interesting
this.
because
Yeah, like
do you have to
it's
consider the pictures that they've posted on the website here or on the Twitter page?
right.
You've got this futuristic soldier looking guy with this fucking router helmet. You've got the image I was just looking at that has a shit ton of like antenna and a bunch of it is antennae, antennas and everything else. I can't talk today, dude. Antennas and a bunch of other like tech looking stuff in this futuristic looking city. So I'm very curious. And then you have the picture of like all this shit going down on Earth, and dude's just taking a picture of it. I call everything a screenshot now, dude. Uh, but yeah, that's an interesting one too. So like trying to put all the pieces of this puzzle together is extremely hard. Like it is not as cut and dry as like, oh, Nikita's working on a new game. Yeah,
Yeah,
at
and
the
it's not like,
core,
oh, there's a name, you
potentially,
can Google it and
right.
figure out everything because there's so many variations.
COR3.GG, is as good as it's getting right now. OS.COR3.GG. Maybe, hey, you guys are really good at this puzzle solving stuff, and you can figure out everything that's going on and maybe compile all these notes and resource information and come up with something. I wish I could. I really wish I could have time to do these kind of things, but with everything going on, it's just. I mean, I can get in there and play around, but I don't think I'd make
I was gonna
headway,
say
in time to
I'll keep
talk
messing
about it.
around with it and keep seeing what I can figure out. I've probably got maybe a total of an hour into it so far, and I have found a few things that are definitely cool. So it's like it's not, it's worth doing. I think there's going to be
For sure.
something that comes of it. So
Yeah,
I don't mind to
I
keep
don't
messing
see
around with it.
why Nikita would put all those cryptic images together of this well-written story pieces, you know what I mean? And then build a Twitter page, build a website, do all these extra things just to be like, yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere. This was just me having fun.
Right.
Like, no, there's something there for sure, right? Like, and I think we all know that. It's just like you said, it's just time invested and then waiting for more stuff to drop and just figuring it all out all the way around. This is probably one of those things that'll take a little bit of time, especially if they're not rushing to get this game out or if it's not coming out soon. Starting the teases now and who knows how long this is going to last or go on or what have you, right? So I think it is a wait and see and get in there and mess around, see what you can learn. Maybe there's some stuff tucked in there and just kind of be part of the community as we get to really explore this puzzle. So that's cool. It's interesting. And I'm glad that Nikita, BSG, and whoever else is in the picture now, I hope that they continue to do these kind of things. And I think they will. I think we all know they will because they clearly love putting these kind of puzzles together and community loves solving them. Sure, you get people that bitch and moan about certain things, but that's just a commonality with anything gaming related now, right? So like, yeah, it's just I think that one's just a wait and see and get in there and see what you can figure out yourself. So
Well, now that I'm looking into it more, Very Bad Scav and Nice Guy have both been on this pretty deep. And just as of a few hours ago, Very Bad
oh,
Scav said, um, he said, so for core3.gg and core3 corp at XD Peacekeeper gave an idea to check the blurred video from the countdown page. The countdown page is titled M7 dot
rep
repnodemassive.tech.
node massive.tech.
He said it gives interesting visuals. Check out the first clip and second clip. And if you just want to know what it is, it zooms out from a first
Well,
person
hold on.
shooter
Should we watch this
perspective.
first?
We can if you want. Yeah, if you want to actually
Oh,
record
I
it and
already can
show it.
see
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I can already see it. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Keep talking. We're zoomed out.
Yeah, it zooms out to a third person,
Yep.
to planet, to
Yep.
universe with spacecrafts, reinforcements. That's not a mobile phone game.
We are not out
Uh
that far yet. Okay. This is interesting though. It is definitely zooming out. We're like sky side. We are atmospheric, I think, into the what do you call it? Outer space? I don't remember. There's like a layer or whatever, but atmosphere. Yeah. So we've crossed the atmosphere.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
zooming out on the planet now. Slowly zooming out. We're starting to see clusters of ships. Yeah, that's a pretty massive spaceship there. 13 day. Hold on, I just put the timer together. Core 3 will have some major information on this website in 13 days, 13 hours, 22 minutes, and 45 seconds. So it's
Okay.
closer to some sort of realization than we all thought. Yeah, oh my God, dude, these are like massive ships, man.
Oh, okay. Um More info from the YouTube comments is that Nikita's art station has Object 8, which looks futuristic, is in image 1. Name of the image is Nikita Bulyanov Underworld WZ8, which I guess ties in with all this.
Where is that? What is that, a website or is that something I need to click on? Or
Yes, the source, it's on Very Bad Scav's tweet 9
uh,
hours ago.
okay, let me turn display capture off. This is cool. We're learning on the fly, which is dope.
Yeah.
Very bad scavs tweet. So
Yeah, I didn't really check Twitter much, but there's a lot of these guys have uncovered. Like they
okay,
really
some
went
guys have
into
been
it.
digging into at Core 3, at Core GG, which is another game from Nick Gene Byrne. All right, and then go into the comment section for this, or do I need to go to a video?
No, 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 no. It's 9 hours ago. very bad scabs. It says so for it's the tweet starts out as so for
9 hours
core3.gg and core
ago.
3.
Walking around with gun POV, similar to Tarkov. Hidden video of Nikita's futuristic. 9 hours ago, gave an idea. All right, past that then?
Um,
You want to just like it?
I reposted it. So just go to our profile
Okay, cool. Um, Here we
and go to
go.
show more. It's at the very bottom where
So
it
for
says
Core
art station.
GG, Peacekeeper, Boyanov, Underworld, another. Okay, is it at the bottom?
At the very bottom, it says art station.
Oh,
It's
Source
like the
Art
last
Station.
thing.
Okay, yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
why I couldn't see that. Whoa,
This is a picture
whoa.
Nikita has made. This is by Nikita Bulyanov.
Okay, now we're back into Tarkov stuff. All right, so he posted the streets, I assume. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We're not going to speculate on that first picture. This is Russia 2028. That's what it is. And then for the first for that one, okay, yeah. Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Very sci-fi, very futuristic. This is like deck 3 or something, deck 8. Oh, object 8. That's what that says, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Object A. Yep.
Object 8, yeah. There's a number 8 on this truck down here. Number 18. No, that's number 8. So this is object 8, I assume. Or that's
Yeah.
the
Zoom.
yeah. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. It's on some sort of like rocky planet, something or other. Like you can see there's like they're on like some sort of high side of a mountaintop maybe, but the rocks and stuff look interesting. They're very not
This is
earthen.
cool. Just having
This is very
access to
interesting.
Nikita's art station, just
Yeah,
being
that's
able to look
cool.
through all these pictures.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So
And it's
yeah,
cool
if you
because he gives titles for everything,
right,
like this right here: "Escape from Tarkov Work in Progress Materials," M4 broken down, sniper, AK-74. Yeah,
and then
there's
if
some
we
cool
click
stuff here.
onto core GG, it takes us to the hub os.43.gg. Corey loads you in, which I'm already, logged in on. I had, like I said, I haven't done anything here, but I can give you guys a little bit. Here's a contract. It kind of just gives you, the executor should try to avoid using Corey systems where possible. Blah blah blah. Local copy of a contract signed between USER and a handler, Arana Strogava, representing a third party. You know what I mean? And there's a diary that really starts to break down like stuff you've been doing and things you got going on. Um, see, and then we go over to daily ops. We can start the task, select 2 entries that are wrong. I'm going to just click those, confirm selection. What's wrong with them? Fix error. Time format is wrong. Event type is incorrect, missing, like you kind of have to pick and choose what's wrong with it, and then you confirm your fixes, right? So you can go through and do all this stuff. Again, I haven't looked into it. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to sit here and start clicking buttons and acting like I know what I'm doing. From there, you have Messenger, though. And this is going to let you see the algorithm, which says an AI-powered personal information channel based on your behavioral, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you have your handler who reaches out to you and starts giving you information. Okay, it's an interactive chat. You get to respond in. And then you have the news, which kind of goes over some stuff. There are some cool images in here. I guess it was worthwhile to pull up because there is some cool stuff. Like, you just see there's news, like actual newsletters from everything going on. Then you get to see these images as well. So this is the other reason why we're like 90% sure this is a space game. Also, is this potentially like where that picture? No, because it's not being destroyed. But like you can kind of start to just piece the puzzle together if you really want to get in here and start messing with stuff. There is a lot going on. I'm not gonna act like I know what's going on. I'm not gonna act like I understand any of it. So
Yeah,
get to
it's a
work.
mystery. It's
Get
definitely a
to
mystery,
work.
and it's something I think we're gonna probably get some more hints here pretty soon.
Oh, there's a whole timeline for what's going on. Partially my fellow comrades, we've gathered to discuss a
Peace.
task that would lay upon our shoulders the nearest future. Most of you know that the discovery of the island has happened. We are yet to fully explore it and uncover its mysteries. But one thing is clear: this would bring us a step closer to our ultimate goal. We in the core colonial structure must be ready to lead humanity forward to the stars and new planets. Our task is to be the first ones everywhere, to lead the way for the upcoming wave. You all understand the risks, and you all have taken vows to guide humanity to their survival. Only you know all the truth, and it should stay that way forever. Be brave, as the light of knowledge will always guide. That was it, 2092, and that was, from ECS me. And then it continues on, 2100. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to go through any of this stuff. The island, whatever all this stuff is, Ring 5 Overseer. Today I'm honored to present you with something truly great, a technology that would advance the development of humanity one step up and open our road to a brighter future. I present to you the NIC. Near infinite capacitors, or NIC, are a byproduct technology of Core's null T energy transfer tech that remains classified up to this day. It is an energy storage technology that relies on specific high density materials being tempered. Oh my gosh. Relies on specific high density materials being tempered with advanced magnetic fields together with Jesus Christ, dude, I can't read. Relies on specific high density materials being tempered with advanced magnetic fields together with the application of high energies. The result is somewhat magical. Materials that are super dense yet very light. The implementation of the technology into common life allowed it to mostly replace fossil fuels and other classical energy resources. Access denied. We don't have clearance reputation. 2105. We can check out the merger vote. We can go to 2150. Oh, Life Magazine, Terra, 2021. Their goal was resurrect the red planet. There's definitely information here. It's just reading through it, and I obviously cannot. And that was just on one. That was just the infinite memory. So, get
Yeah,
in here,
there's a
look
lot of
around.
information.
There's weather, even,
Yeah, it's
whatever
cool.
that's
Look, the
worth.
weather. You got acid rain, acid fog. Like,
Then there's this. You have a radio.
yeah,
You know what? I should add the sound so they can hear it too. Or, yep. So with the radio, what you can do is try to find stations that have people interacting.
oh god, I'm still looking at Nikita's art station. We're gonna have to just do some stuff about this sometime because there's a lot of cool stuff here.
To save you all the ear drum pain. We won't do any more than that. But there's a lot here. Again, I wish I had more time to really dig into it, and maybe over the next few weeks we will. But this is still pretty new. There's even like new folders, edit, undo, copy, cut, delete, language. You can change like all this stuff
Yeah,
around. Like they've obviously
there's
put time into
hours
this.
worth of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so get in here, start messing around, and check this stuff out. We'll take a look at what Very Bad Scav has posted here. Walking around with gun POV, similar to Tarkov. Yeah, we saw that. So he's just showing us what we've already seen. All right.
Core 3 has a Discord also. I joined it. They do have a Discord.
All right. We'll get that Discord link up for you guys too. But yeah, so moving on from the core 3 stuff, because we could sit here and yap about that for a while, just speculating on what could be and kind of like deep diving as we sit here. But I don't think, that's really the best idea in the moment.
Yeah, yeah,
I promise, guys, I will do my best to read up and learn as much as I can about core and try to solve some of this stuff, or not even necessarily solve, but just try to get some information, get a handle on it, because it's just a lot. There's a lot there. And a lot of this stuff, like Adam just said, the Very Bad Scav post was just posted earlier today. So like, not staying on top of it, not having the time to be on top of it 24/7, things happen and we learn more and more as we go. So we'll just see what
yeah,
happens with the core.gg stuff. If you're really interested in it, if it's something that you're like, oh man, that's interesting, you know where to find it now. So that's the main thing there. Moving
yeah.
on
If you
from
want daily,
that though.
Very
Go ahead.
Bad Scav, nice. I said if you want daily updates, Very Bad Scav, Nice Guy, the Sons of Soon, those guys are all in it. Like you can follow them and get daily updates.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely
And
definitely places that you can get up to date current information on it.
one one more thing on all this, the art station, the Nikita art station. It is awesome. 11 years ago, Nikita posted the full auto Saiga with the zombie hunter skin on it that we got during the zombie event. Nikita made that 11 years ago.
That's kind of
Um,
crazy.
Also, there's pictures of woods, part of the woods map from 11 years ago that was used in Contract Wars. Like I said, it's just very cool to go back and look at all this stuff. There are so many like things that are coming into Tarkov now that he did years and years and years ago.
Maybe
And it's
that's
just really cool to see.
a video we put together for Thursday. We'll take a
Dude,
deep dive into
the
Nikita's art list or art
the
list,
AS Val
art station.
the the AS Val mod 3 was created 11 years ago, his version of it. Like
Yeah.
it's just cool seeing all this that's coming in the game.
Well, and maybe
But
just you saying that is enough to help some people understand the scale at which they're trying to do things. Like Nikita has his idea of what he wants done. The developers and like the guys that have say so, they probably have certain things they want to get in. So like you've got a lot of stuff trying to be packed into a game that everybody wants to just be done, done, done. And this is obviously a lifelong project. This is something that he
yeah,
really wants to build out. I don't think looking at it in a small scale is the right idea. And just hearing the zombie shotgun, the Psychic 12, the full auto Psychic 12 with the zombie skin coming out 11 years ago, and we just got that event 3 years ago or
yeah,
something. Like that
yep,
really
yep.
should help put things into perspective a bit. Just maybe people will calm down a bit. I know they won't,
Well,
but wishful thinking.
and there's early concepts of USEC and Bear Soldiers, and some of the gear that they have on is stuff that we just recently got, like in the last couple
Yeah,
updates.
that's cool. That's
So it
cool.
just shows you how in the future, like his work is like for.
For
It's
sure.
not for
Yeah.
instant gratification or instant,
Right. He's not
like I'll
just
put in the
cooking
game
something
right
up and
now.
making it happen. Yeah. He's got a
Right. But
portfolio of stuff he's trying to add.
I will say back to the Object 8 thing that brought us here in the first place.
For sure.
That was posted 11 years ago.
That was posted 11 years ago?
Yeah, the Object 8 thing.
Well, that's kind of crazy.
So is this whole thing, this Core 3, has this also been in the works since
11
like
years ago, 10 years
before
ago, 8
Tarkov?
years ago, 7 years ago, who knows?
It appears like it
Not
because
only that, but is there something that we're not putting together? Some sort of like, oh, well, this happened then. We're playing through that story. And Object 8 happens, or Core happens, however you want to word it. And then we play into the story that is like after Tarkov in the future of the event.
I'm
We've
sure Russia
seen
2028 might
mention
have something to do with it too.
that's potential too. Yeah, like that could be the next step towards the buildup of Object 8 potentially, right? Like, so if you think
Very,
about it
very
just
possible.
from referencing one specific phrase, the event, Tarkov has the event where a nuclear device or something happened with an EMP type situation as well, to the point that things were ruined. And then they say nobody's none the wiser. Everybody just kept moving on, like nothing was going on, proceeding as planned. You know, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
tinfoil hat, right? It's possible. And knowing that Nikita, BSG, these guys have been plotting this out step by step and meticulously adding things at the time they think is correct, you know, the scale of what could be is massive. He could take it 5 years in the future. He could take it 250 years in the future. You know what I mean? Like, so it really is hard to say. This could be something completely separate, could not be tied to Tarkov at all. But I find it a little bit weird that the super Tarkov guy, Tarkov himself, Mr. Nikita, goes and posts about it, makes a week worth of cryptic posts about it. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's
I'm just
something.
saying there's something.
Yeah.
It's
And
interesting.
it's
It's
cool to go
interesting.
through and look at all his weapons that he's designed.
Designed and put
Like not him
together.
designed, but
Yeah.
ones that he's 3D rendered.
Rendered in.
Because
Yeah.
there's a ton of awesome weapons that we're still yet to see in Tarkov that are in here.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, the world of
Yeah, a
firearms is
ton.
massive. There are so many just interesting guns out there that we don't even, you know, typically
He,
see in the normal. So I can only imagine like what he's got cooked up and put together for that.
he's got an MDR that is black and tan, like the uh top is black and then the bottom's tan. It's a 308 version MDR. It's just there's so much
Nice.
cool stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, we'll maybe Thursday we dive into that and kind of look through it and
Yeah,
just see what's
there's enough
in the game
here.
versus what's not in the game and try to speculate what could be coming next type stuff.
Yeah, yeah, this is a very cool place to
Yeah.
just go through and look, like
But yeah, moving on because like I said, we could probably do that for
yeah, yeah,
hours.
yeah,
Um
yeah, we could,
we
we could.
had
I'm already doing it.
right, exactly. Yeah, it's uh on January 14th, we had a post from Escape from Tarkov. Since December 19th, 2025, more than 9,800 cheaters have been banned in Escape from Tarkov. Um, I love seeing these posts, you know, every few months, knowing thousands of cheaters gone, thousands of potential cheaters gone. Are there false bans in that? Potentially, you know, there is a process of going through it. I haven't had it happen to me, so I don't know. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know anything like that. But I do see people always say, like, oh, my buddy got false banned, blah, blah, blah. You know, maybe they didn't get false banned. Maybe they did. It's just one of those things that goes with it. But, you know, 1
Well,
to 30 or even 500 people saying, oh, I got false banned when you've got 10,000 people being, you know, taken out, I
yeah,
don't think is horrible. Especially since, for the most part, it seems like those people get to be back on Tarkov playing relatively quickly. I know there's some people who
yeah,
claim, you know, oh, I got banned 600 days ago and I haven't been able to play, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you would imagine that BSG has seen your post, looked at your account, and there's probably a reason why you're banned. You know, most cheaters aren't going to admit that they are cheating. So,
yeah. That's the other thing is most people, especially if they're, you know, in the public, like if they do content creation or if they're known in, you know, the Twitter world or Tarkov world, what else are they going to say? They're going to have to say I was falsely banned. You know what I mean? You
right,
can't come out and
exactly.
admit it. So it's like you're always just you're going to have to use your judgment to decide if you really believe someone's, you know, cheating and getting
Well, that's why
falsely
they
or
have the
not getting
manual
falsely banned.
reviews, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's probably very rare that someone remains falsely banned for more than maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure there's people out there that have been banned, removed every trace of cheats that they may have had, and been like, check me now, man, I'm clean. You know, that kind of thing can happen very easily as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think with the manual reviewing and things like that, it's probably for the most part only a handful of people that shouldn't be banned get banned. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like some major like, oh
No, there's
shit,
always going to
we took down
be
six
people who
thousand players and they were all false banned. You know, like
yeah, there's only going to be a few people who slip through the cracks.
right?
Battle AI itself has issues sometimes where it definitely false
It
bans,
does. It does.
but I think a lot of people usually get their accounts reinstated if it's actually false. Like it seems to me, I've seen a lot of people get it resolved.
Exactly.
I have seen a few
Exactly.
people say it never got resolved, but
That
you
always makes
know,
me question though. Like, there's probably a
yeah,
reason. You know, like there's
yeah,
probably a reason. Maybe you aren't cheating on Tarkov, you know, but BattleEye also does detect other things too. And I'm not saying
right,
BattleEye
right,
is some great anti-cheat. We've already talked about this. Like, we all
yeah,
know BattleEye, even as far as like Ricochet, Riot Vanguard, like none of these really work flawlessly, and none of them are
no, absolutely
quote
not.
unquote great,
But
right? So it's like take it with a grain
it's
of
also
salt.
one of those things like, could you imagine what Tarkov would look like right now if it did not have Battle AI? Like
Exactly. It would be
that lets you
well,
know the
there probably
value.
wouldn't be a Tarkov now, you know,
Exactly.
realistically. And we
So
also
even though stuff
know
doesn't work perfect, it still helps.
it helps a lot. It helps a lot. And I mean, think about like the start of 1.0. We had a couple few weeks of nothing. Like I
Yeah,
didn't have
absolutely
anything
0.
questionable in the first 2 weeks. You know, and even past that, I've only had I've reported probably 3 or 4 people. We've talked about this too. Like I don't just go ban somebody because I couldn't see them and they killed me. You know what I mean? That's never enough justification. I like to look at the account. I like to like go to Tarkov.dev and see what's going on with them and stuff like that. But um, if I don't have it recorded and I can't look back at it and see if it was actually sus or not, it's just one of those things that I assume they probably weren't cheating. I just got outplayed. But I know not everybody can admit that, so it is what it is. We do know in regards to like battle line stuff that BSG they are working on some sort of in-house anti-cheat type situation, right? They had mentioned a while
Yeah.
back, and we've talked about this as well. Um, but it's still nice to just keep it fresh in our minds and hope that it's coming soon. But even now, like I don't think I run into that many cheaters. Like out of the 4 people
You
I've
definitely
reported, I've had one ban, I think. Because I think I misspoke the other day I think the one guy that had me on Woods and was naming off all my stuff, that was during the hardcore wipe towards the end of it. That was like right before
Yeah, yeah, that
1.0.
was, yeah.
So I've only
Yeah.
had one post 1.0 report that went through. Granted, I've only reported like 4 people total. But yeah, and
It's
that one
definitely
was
low.
relatively recently. It is low. It is much lower.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the other thing too. I don't know how to feel about the fact that these 9,000 plus players that were banned, and then the previous 5,000, previous 10,000, and before that, however many, right? It most of that's not necessarily closet cheaters. It seems like a lot of these guys are probably rage hackers, right? Because like the closet cheaters already know that you're running a 2 PC setup, you've got your DMA card, like you're doing things to not get caught. So unless I don't know, I mean, it bothers me to know. Sure, a lot of it got fixed, but there's still people out there with DMAs, and it just drives me nuts. It does.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it is probably just new people who just try to cheat. They create an
Right.
account, they try to cheat, and they instantly get caught. That's probably a
Yeah.
lot of the bans. Um, because like we said, I haven't seen a ton of just like even rage hackers. Like I haven't even seen a ton of video like from other people. I
No,
just
no,
it doesn't
nothing.
seem to be very wide at the moment. So I would imagine a lot of it's new accounts trying to load in with cheats, even if it's simple things, trying to, like get unlimited money or trying to,
Farm
just
some
make their
LEDXs or
Tarkov experience
GPUs
a little
or
easier. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And there's probably a lot of that.
Maybe some soft wall or soft aim or something, things like
Yeah.
that. Just the
Yeah, because that's the
basics.
thing. People used to be able to run around with wall hacks and like probably never get caught. They could play like that forever. And as long as they kept you know, their
That's
knowing
within check
ability
and yeah.
pretty well, yeah, and didn't like do obvious things, like, still played it like a normal raid. It's like they
Yeah,
could
just use
last
the
probably
advantage.
forever like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of them got through, quite a few wipes, just doing whatever they
yeah.
wanted to do.
Well,
Just
because you
being
think
smart
about it, that
about it.
makes Tarkov that right there is the one cheat that you could run, and it makes Tarkov so much
Changes the
easier.
game.
Like, if you
Yeah.
always have the know on everybody, like, you can do everything in this game, anything
Yeah.
and everything. Like,
No,
it
it's
it
true.
makes you pretty much invincible.
Yeah. Sure, you can still lose gunfights and stuff, but you have the drop
You
on
can
when those
avoid
fights
gunfights.
start. You can
Yeah,
choose when to interact with somebody, and a lot of the time, you know what that player's level and hour count is, and like this, that, and the
yeah.
other. So like you can just pick and choose to never fight anybody that could kill you.
Yeah, you got a quest that's on one side of the map, well, chill out, wait till there's no one on that side of the map, then you go do it. Like, it gives you the ability to avoid conflict, not necessarily always win, but just avoid it.
Right. And
But also
when
gives you the
you
drop on
can't
people
avoid
too,
it,
where you can
yeah,
win
exactly.
gunfights.
When you can't win the gun or can't avoid it, it puts you in a position to set yourself up to, get the drop on them, get the easy shot, whatever, because you have the information. Um, yeah, it
Now
is always nice to see cheaters banned. I just wish that we could get some sort of anti-cheat upgrade to where we can start dialing in on like the DMAers and the closet cheaters who may have been getting away with it for a long time, because we all know that's still a thing, and it's
yeah, definitely.
probably a pretty decent number of people doing it. So I would
Well,
love to
one
see
thing
that
I
shut
have
down.
heard is I've heard, people, suggest that a lot of the Tarkov cheaters have moved on to Arc Raiders, because Arc seems to be having quite a bit of problem with cheaters at
Yo,
the moment.
what
Um,
anti-cheat
I
does Arc
don't
run?
I don't know, honestly. I
Because
have not
they
looked into that.
are getting roasted.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely
hearing
shredded by cheaters, dude.
yeah, I'm hearing
It
2
is.
different things. I'm hearing some people say they never see him, and I'm seeing other people say it's almost impossible to play.
I'm
Um,
skewed by the
seems
content creators, right? Like I see the
well,
major
I was gonna say it seems to be the
shorts
big
and
content
videos and stuff.
creators. Yeah, they're having the most problem. Big content creators like Shroud and Peanut. Those are
Which,
2 players who I've already heard say that they're thinking about quitting until
yeah,
like Shroud started playing Tarkov. Like he took a break. He's like, I'm just gonna play Tarkov. So
yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And we know that cheat sellers, a lot of them are going to go to these big live
yeah,
streamers, right? They're going to target
follow the
those
money.
guys. Yeah, you've
Yep.
got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, however many thousands of people in there. watching it happen, and some of those people are hate watching, right? Like some of those people
Yeah.
want to stream snipe, they want to do these things, they want to like kill the streamer, and it's probably a good way to get a few sales. It's scummy, it's dirty, but in the world of cheating, it's all grease. So, you do what you do. But yeah,
Well,
it's funny. Yeah,
everybody and their brother is playing Arc Raiders right now, so it's
right,
like you're gonna have all these people wanting to jump in and be impressive. All these people trying to launch careers off of Arc Raiders
exactly,
because
yeah.
it's one of those games. It's going to be like when you think about I don't know what's a game that is like timeless.
Call of Duty.
My
I don't know.
my
I'm
brain
just
went
thinking of
blank.
something
I
that
was trying to think it
survived.
was
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Something that survived the test of time.
Well,
Call of
yeah,
Duty,
like
Fallout, fucking.
Warzone. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Warzone launched more than 1,000 careers. Warzone launched so many careers, and that's
Oh,
kind of what
absolutely.
is happening with Arc Raiders.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure, for sure. But yeah, they're getting supposedly decimated by cheaters, and I have seen, because like I watched a Peanut short, and then I was just like looking around, like, is Arc really that bad? And it does sound like it's pretty horrendous. I mean, there's some Reddit threads I was reading that sounded not great. I saw multiple people posting stuff, and just like it looked about the same as what like we see on Tarkov, right? And we're pretty dialed in with
right.
Tarkov, so we look at Twitter pretty regularly. We see these complaints is what I'm trying to say. We see these complaints and all this stuff, and scrolling through the ARC stuff yet a few days ago, it was kind of the same, and I was just like, ugh, that's not good. That's not good, because that shit. As much as I'm not gonna go play Arc Raiders ever, it's just not my game. Just lacks on some stuff that I would like it to have. And it's a bit money hungry, and I have a pretty heavy stance on that though. Um, I don't want to see any game get decimated by cheaters and have its community fall apart. That's the last thing I'd wish for anybody or any game.
Oh,
Um,
the game I was looking for earlier was Counter Strike. That's what I was trying
Counter
to say.
Strike,
I
yeah,
had it in my head to
yeah,
say Counter Strike.
and
Like I
that game
believe
has
this is
been
going to be like
through.
the new Counter Strike.
Yeah, that game has gone through period of time after period of time of like really bad cheating.
Yeah,
To well, it's kind of slow. Okay, it ramped right back up. It's like it almost has never had a clean moment through time, which is absurd because it is a huge esport game. Like it's the esport game that started it all, in my opinion.
yeah,
Like it's a big one.
it is.
If not for Counter
It
Strike, I don't know if we'd be where we are in esports.
yeah,
Um,
it draws every kind of player in pretty much. Now,
yeah,
this Arc is even worse about it because you can play Arc with a controller. You
right.
can play Arc without looking up any kind of tutorial. You can play it without like it's so easy to get
It's such
into,
an
and it's
easy, yeah, it's an
yeah,
introductory extraction shooter, and they put it out there for you. So you've got, your Zim 4 users, or your Zim users, I don't know what version they're on. You got, pedal abusers that can have a bunch of different things going on at their feet, and you'll never see it. You got DMAers, you've got, the rage hackers, you've got your people that are just trying stuff out, and it's open not just through, oh, you have to be on a computer, but it's like you can be on probably mobile at this point, like you can do so much with it.
yeah. Well, it's
Um,
just there's so much opportunity right there now to make money, and if you can cheat to
right.
get big and get
Oh,
recognition,
yeah, dude, you're
people are going to
there.
be doing that, and
Yeah,
that's unfortunately what happens with any popular game, but especially games like this where it's targeted at like your favorite esports players and favorite streamers and everybody's playing it, so it's like you can not only make a name for yourself but you can get in there and troll them and beat them, and like there's just so much like negativity tied to it right now. Well, not necessarily negativity but stuff you can turn into negativity as far as cheating and trolling, and
for sure.
it's
Right,
just
right, right.
it's primed for that right now,
It
and
is.
I don't think it's going to get better.
No, the only way it gets
not
better is if
not
the
soon
game dies
anyways.
off, right? Like that's like
Yeah,
the idea behind it. Is the only way that the cheating situation gets better is if something better comes out, something more involved in the community is like, oh shit, let's go play that, or some drastic measures happen. But it's something that you kind of have to fight through, right? Like if you want your
yeah.
space spot in the limelight as a game developer and as the game, you got to fight for it. You kind of got to earn it because you introduce something that
And
is PvP focused with a lot of mechanics in it that people can abuse, and you're gonna have cheaters out the wazoo, especially as competitive as it is, as big as it's gotten, as
well,
massive as your streams could be, and things like that. Yeah, you gotta
that's
get
another
your hands
problem.
full.
for our creators. It's its identity. Like it's ran into an issue where half of the player base
Just
doesn't
want
want
PvE.
to do PvP.
Yeah.
So what they do is there's a new matchmaking system they introduced called aggression. I think it's like aggression based matchmaking, where if you shoot at players, then you're going to be matched in with other players who shoot at players. If you don't and you work with people, you're getting matched with other people who work with people. So it's kind of separating the player base to
It's also a
where
bad
you're,
idea.
yeah, because you're never running in. I mean, it's a good idea for people who never want to fight and for people who always want to fight, but it loses that randomness that an extraction shooter is supposed to have.
Right.
That
Well,
you never have to worry. Like you always know what the player you're coming up to. You always know what they're going to do.
right.
Um,
Well, that's what my thought was kind of the opposite of that is like, you're also going to get these people who are PvPers be like, man, I'm tired of fighting these same 12, 20, 30 guys over and over and over again. You know, I'm going to just take a couple friendly raids and then I'll get put into the chill lobbies and then I'll just murder everybody. You know what I mean? Then you'll have a bunch of PvEers like, what the
yeah,
fuck, man? I didn't want to PvP. And it causes like a whole other stink.
that's definitely happening too. But the one thing
Not
I
as
can say
bad.
is I
Like,
don't
obviously
think
not as
people
much, but
are. Yeah, I don't think people are going to have to worry about like fighting the same people because it's like
it's such a
millions of
huge
people
game.
playing right
Yeah,
now.
it's
Yeah,
massive.
yeah, it's going to be probably the biggest game of our lifetime. I'm expecting that right now. Like just by the way
Yeah.
it's going and progressing, it's probably going to
Like
be
the next Fortnite.
like yeah, yeah, if not bigger. I think bigger.
No, yeah, I think it could potentially go bigger, which is funny. You'd think I'd be
Yeah,
playing something like that, you know, a massive extraction shooter with a giant community around it. It sounds like
yeah,
something I'd
yeah,
love, but I'm just addicted to Tarkov, man. The grittiness, the
yeah.
realism, the struggle, the all of it, all of it.
Well,
Just
the
Tarkov. It's all I want.
other thing about Ark is it's there's enough there where I have enjoyed it when I played it. I just it doesn't give me that want to where I want to play it. Like
Yeah, nothing
I could go
like
in and have some fun, but
during the
there's
beta.
yeah, it's like when I turn it off, I'm not like, oh man, I want to go
I want to go
play
play
some
more of
Ark.
that, and it's one of those
Yeah,
games that even when I'm playing it, I could have ended it any time and been okay with it, you know. And like if you put it next to Tarkov, like I had multiple occasions to do, I just clicked Tarkov. You know,
well,
nothing
it's like
drew me to it, kept me in it, made me want it. Like nothing. It just
I
doesn't
do.
have it for me.
I
It's
like
cool.
the AI.
It
I
is
like
interesting. I
the
think it's a cool
enemies.
concept.
Yeah, the AI is very interesting. Where it's all been trained on like real like robots. It's been trained with AI. It's been
Right, right,
like
right.
machine
It's
learning.
actually somewhat smart
Yeah, and it is. It's very smart. It's cool AI. Their design concept, all that stuff is cool. And there's definitely room for them to improve a lot of stuff. And I'm
for
sure
sure.
it's going to get better. Um, but you know, yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for. But to appeal to the casual people, it's knocking it out of the park. Like it's the
Absolutely.
most casual, appealing game that you could ever have. I watch streamers that I've watched for years who quit gaming. They don't even game anymore. They just do IRL or they just sit and talk. They're playing Arc Raiders. Like
Right.
everybody is playing Arc Raiders. And people who
Everybody is.
don't even play games. Yeah, and it just goes to show you it appeals to such a wide variety of people.
I am
But
one
then
of
you can
the
kind of
only
look at like,
people probably not playing it, in all honesty. You know what I
well,
mean? Like I don't
I
even
was
have it
going to
installed. I
say
don't even have it in like at all.
I haven't played it since launch, since the week it launched. I almost fired it up the other day just to run in there and just mess around, but I didn't. But what I was going to say is a lot of the hardcore Tarkov people that were playing it at first, almost none of them are playing it right now. Like some of them
Right,
are,
right.
but like I haven't seen Landmark play it in a long time.
It just doesn't
Um,
have what we need from an extraction shooter like Tarkov.
but there are a lot of Tarkov streamers. Like One Peg still plays it a lot. Airway Marine plays it a lot. Um, and I know
Ninja
there's a
and Burnt
ton
Peanut
more.
play it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Peanut, he's become mostly just a art streamer. Um, I know he did say that he was upset with it and was not going to play anymore or something. Because then people started. I seen under his comment of saying he wasn't going to play anymore unless the cheaters were fixed. A lot of people was
I
like,
think
"This
that's more of
game
a call
made
to
you."
action, right? That's also a
Yeah, well,
crazy
a lot of
statement.
people was like, "This game made you. No one knew who you were before our creators." And I'm
That's
sitting there thinking,
wild.
"No, you guys just didn't know who he was before our creator. He's been
Yeah.
very, very popular before our creators."
Yeah, he would pull thousands of viewers in just playing Tarkov, you know. He's a personality. He could go play fucking Farming Simulator and people would eat it up, dude. He is such a
Exactly.
personality. He's so cool. I'd love to have him on the podcast for an episode. Peanut,
Yeah, dude, that'd be
if you hear
crazy.
this, dude, we'd love to have you. It would be cool.
He did an interview just recently. He did a
He
little sit down
did.
interview with a guy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool. I watched parts of it. I haven't seen it
Yeah,
all,
I
but
did
I've
too.
watched parts of it. Um, just to segue back to the
But
Tarkov stuff because we are
yeah,
pushing
sorry,
an
we've gotten
hour.
way off base.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you
Um,
don't have much time.
that's all right. It is what it is. I did it to myself. Sergey posted. If you guys don't know, follow Sergey. He is one of the devs of Tarkov. He is a senior game designer at Battlestate Games.
Yeah, game design.
But he posted, if you're playing as a large squad, there's still a chance not everyone makes it out. Let's see how this plays out. We're listening. We've installed a technical update for Escape from Tarkov. The game will not be stopped. What they did was a patch to Tisk terminal. They patched
Open up the
the
seats.
airboat to allow more players to go in the seats. So what we got from that is 2 players, always 2 slots available. 3 players, always 3 slots available. 4 players, 4 slots, maybe only 3. 5 players, 5 slots, maybe only 4. We
I don't know
don't
how I feel about that.
really understand it. Yeah, that's why, unless it's just something coding wise and they just can't get past it, why do that? You're incentivizing
No,
big groups to split up, take a 2-man that's confident and a 3-man that needs the extra help. You know what I mean? 2 of you in, 3 of you in. Like, why even go in a 4-man or a 5-man when you know there's a 50-50 chance that one of us can't get out? And like, I'm all for playing the guy that can't survive, right? Whatever, no big deal. But at the same time, when you only get like one shot at it and then you have to replay the story, so you help your 4-stack get out and then you're the one that stays back, so you got to go do it solo now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bad look and I don't understand it. And I'm not one to bitch about their changes. Typically, like, I'm on board with whatever they do. This just doesn't make sense because it's just like, okay, 2 players, always 2 slots, easy work. 3 players, always 3. Well, now we got 4, maybe only 3 of you can get out. Well, 5, maybe only 4 of you can get out. Like, I just don't understand why. I don't know if it's a technical thing. I don't know if it's just like a, hey, somebody, this is part of the story. This is like how it works. One of you isn't getting out. Or sometimes all of you can get out. So if you want, just chance it. Giga Beef had a good take on it. I'm going to read his take.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Friend of the show, Gigabeef, had a great take on it.
Yeah. Which he'll be back on at some point. We don't know when, but some point in time, Giga Beef's coming back for another interview. So be ready for that. Appreciate the honesty, but I really don't know what this is designed to achieve. The reality is that a 5-man will just be forced to queue as a 3 and a 2, as to not waste their time. Exactly my point as well. Honest question: what kind of player behavior / emergent incentives do you think are going to come out of this new update? Splitting up is the main one, IMO. If you don't want to make it too easy with 5, then just limit it to a squad of 3 in the first place or something. I can't see how this enhances the experience, but maybe I am missing something. And I don't even play squads. Ha ha. It's just... Okay, here's the other thing I'm going to do is read this other comment because it kind of helps tie it together. Clearly not listening per usual because he says, let's see how it plays. We're listening. Sergey says, I understand it might feel that way, but please keep in mind, not doing exactly what someone suggests doesn't mean we're not listening. We're reading, discussing, and taking feedback seriously. So with that, I don't understand it. I just can't understand it. Why go through the process, up the amount of players that can be on, potentially 5? It's like, you're not even saying one of you has to stay out. You're saying 5 of you could get out, but you won't know until you get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And if you want, this is my last thing. If you want it to be smaller groups, just limit it at 3 and 2, like I and Giga Beef just said.
Exactly. Because it's so heartbreaking to get to the end and one of you can't get on for absolutely no other reason than because they didn't design another seat. Like, that's so stupid.
And then that player has to wait for a full playthrough to help you back through it. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's one of the worst decisions they've made as far as like just limiting the amount of people who can actually extract. That's so dumb.
Just
and like Giga Beef said there, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah, what play like design does that cater to? It doesn't do anything. Like, all it does is piss people off. There's no good play like that you can't do anything to reverse it or to beat it. Like, it just doesn't,
it's just
game wise
chance.
does not make sense.
No, it's literally chance. It's all 5 of you survived. You did everything perfectly. You guys worked as a team. You got to the fucking Zuber, whatever it's called, Zuber, the Z-boat, the fucking hovercraft. All 5 of you go to walk on, and guess what? One of you can't sit down. You know what I mean? Like, that's absurd. It just doesn't make sense. And then to go through and to fix it, to change it, to make the change, and say, okay, sometimes 4 or sometimes 3, sometimes 5, or sometimes 4. Like, that's just bullshit. Why not just limit it? Why not from the rip be like, we don't want you guys in big ass groups. We want it to be somewhat difficult. 3-man is the maximum. You know what I mean? Problem solved.
Yeah.
I think people would be less upset if you limited it to 3 than saying, oh, you won't know until you get to the end of the fucking match and one of you can't go. You know, like that's dirty.
Yeah, there's no reason. Like, it just absolutely no reason to do it.
Because
It just hurts the play.
These
It
big
hurts the
groups.
experience.
Exactly. You know, these big groups are people that play together, that want to go in and finish this together. You're not random queuing a 5 stack in there.
Right. Absolutely not. You
It's
won't
just
take that chance in Tarkov.
No.
Well, it's like if you've fought and went through everything you have to actually escape Tarkov, you've done all that. Like, you've already went through enough. You don't need to be trolled at the
Yeah.
end. Like, that's just insulting.
Exactly.
And like Gigabeef said, like, what are you wanting to happen? Are you wanting
Right.
someone to fight over the last seat? Are you wanting someone to backstab someone? And it's just like, if you're not wanting that, then
Just
why
slot it to
let
5.
fives go in?
Right.
Yeah, why let fives even go in?
Or
Like,
yeah,
if that's the thing, you're
that,
like, oh,
yeah.
I don't want 5 people to go in and make it easy. Well, then only let 3 people go in.
Right.
Like, there's
If
just
3 is the maximum, 3 is the maximum.
I can usually find
At
a
least
good
people
reason for
know
some of
what's
their
going on
decisions.
then. Right.
Right. But this one, there's no, like I said, gameplay wise, there's no reasoning to have this in there. It just does
None
not
at
make
all.
sense in any way.
At all.
At least
Right.
I can't think of one.
No, I can't either.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's weird.
It makes me mad, and I haven't
sense.
even tried to escape Tarkov yet. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm still
And
pretty
even right
fucking
now.
far away, you know? I'm just like,
Yeah, me
well,
too.
that's my thing, because I know I have to prestige too, right? And I know it's like this whole process of doing all this. I want to get probably to 55. I want to have my tasks ready. I want to have everything done, so when I escape Tarkov, I'm not back in doing more raids. You know what I mean? I want to be able to escape and then prestige and then reset and do it all again.
Right.
Which I think seems like the right way to go about it. So I haven't been rushing through the story. Every now and then, like I'm running Lighthouse Shooterborn, I'll go over and I'll do the ticket task that I'm working on to unlock Lightkeeper. I'll work on that, sure, but I'm not like, oh, now I got to speed through and get Lightkeeper done. I want to enjoy it, you know. At first I thought I was going to try to speed through it, but then I was realizing we're gonna have seasonal characters soon enough. I might as well just take my time with this one and enjoy it and just like play through it like I feel like I would play through it normally. So I've just been kind of taking my time and enjoying it, which I think a lot of people have been.
Same, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
the
it's
fact
just
that we're not wiping also just gives me that confidence to be like,
also true. Yeah,
I don't have to rush. Yeah, I
Right.
don't have to rush. I can wait for like bad things to get patched and
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
have to be the first person to do it. And you know, yeah, it's nice to be, done with it, but at the same time,
Up on the
I'm
list
wanting to
too. Yeah,
enjoy it.
right. And well,
Yeah,
you
it's like,
also
I just want to
know
enjoy it.
once you get there, the next step is make it to prestige and reset your account anyways. So
Right.
it's like, why not
Yeah,
just wrap it
it's
all into
more
one
grinding.
big nice piece and tie it off with a bow? No, I get it, man. I do. And I've slowed myself down a lot. Like I was beating my head through Shooterborn. I've started finally working on other tasks. Which kind of, do you have anything else to talk about this? Because I was going to move on to the.
No. We can move on from this. Well, one other thing I was just going to say about uh, Tarkov in general. Actually, I'll do it after this. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, so I've been doing things outside of Shooterborn. I went and started on Test Drive. Test Drive 1, while not the biggest fan of using the specific build they give us for the SR25, it could have been worse. In fact, it does get worse. Let's move on to Test Drive 2 because 1 is very fucking easy, and then you get to 2 and you just don't understand what the thought process is behind it. Why take away a gun that was fine? The SR2M worked great. Give us an MP5 that's a lesser build. Sure, we get a rock 50 round mags, but I don't know. The 9x19 just doesn't feel like it's cutting the cake, and the MP5 isn't that great. You're rocking the MP5 SD with a optic that isn't very good, in my opinion, the PRO, and then you have, I guess, 30 or 50 round mags that you can run. I don't know. The MP5 kind of sucks. Maybe I shouldn't say the MP5.
Absolutely no range.
9x19 with the MP5 combined, the fall off, exactly, the range fall off.
that late too. That late because most people are going to be
Right.
doing part 5 very late. So it's
That's part
like,
2.
oh, is it part 2?
It's part 2 for the MP5. You're stuck at it. As soon as you finish the SR25, you're stuck on the MP5.
I didn't know that. Oh my
They took the
god.
SR2 out and put the MP5 in, gave us less range, I think less damage on the top end ammo. And it's just harder. It's just rough. And it's 20 kills. It's 20 PMCs. Oh, go to Streets Interchange or Ground Zero. Like, obviously, I'm going to go farm Ground Zero because it's going to give me my best ranges, right? It's going to keep people close to me. But even then, like, am I really going to be able to outshoot the guy that has the M4 with 855A1, 856A1? Like, I don't know. I don't know. 20 times? It's going to be a pain in the ass. And it is. It has been.
Okay,
It
yeah.
has been a pain in the ass. I am not a fan of the Test Drive 2 change. Geez. Even if you are going to change it to the MP5, 20 kills might be a little bit much. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. The fact that you have to, and there's some where it's like eliminate just any enemy.
Targets.
Like
Right.
they
Like the
could have made it where it's
RPD and stuff
eliminate.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
50 enemies with the MP5. I would have been fine with that because you're guaranteed you're going to wrap up some players in there too. But 20 PMCs with the MP5 is just not fun.
yeah. That's rough. That's rough.
And I get that these things are skill checks and they're meant to be a grind. The upper echelon of players, sure, they speed run through everything. Of course, they'll get this done. The average player is meant to grind on these tasks and earn these things and feel good about these things. This doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel rewarding in any way, and it just sucks.
Moving the SR2 to Test Drive 5 and having it where you just have to kill 50 things on factory, like
Right.
that's so much easier. That's so much
Absolutely.
easier.
Absolutely. But
It's
that's
almost like that should be reversed.
yeah, that's just kind of my complaint, I guess. I don't know. I think most people feel this way. I don't think anybody's really enjoying the
No,
MP5 right
no,
now.
no.
Sorry, I
One
was
positive change
taking a drink.
that I noticed as I was scrolling Twitter just now is that Nikita confirmed that the shoreline spawns are currently being reworked.
Good.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm going to say something that may not fit the mold with a lot of people. I think we need randomized spawn points. You spawn in zones, and it's random. I have recently started doing something I swore I would never do, but with the test drive tasks and everything else, I am spawning in and running to the next closest spawn. And I don't really
yeah.
like that playstyle. I like for things to
No, Tarkov's
evolve
supposed to be random.
naturally, and you're pushing through this certain spot on woods, and another player just happens to be walking past that
Yeah,
same area, and you guys
yeah. It's supposed
interact.
to be random.
There
Random
should
encounters.
exactly knowing where everyone spawns, and then the fact that I can go look at a map, take all the player spawns on it, and say these spawns are going here, these spawns are going here, these spawns are going here. What is my most efficient route to kill as many people as possible while just running one big loop, right? Like, and it's just that's a personal choice to do that, sure. But I know that there's a large majority of players that do this. You know what I mean? So it's turned into, well, if we spawn here, we can just run back here and kill this guy real quick before he even gets out of spawn. And I don't know. It just feels like
Yeah,
it
anything
just
that
doesn't feel
cheese
random.
something,
It just
it
doesn't
feels
feel random.
bad. Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels bad.
Yeah.
It always feels bad because Tarkov doesn't have to be that way. Like there's not a reason. There's no reason they can't change it and make it to where
Yeah.
you do not run into someone right off the bat immediately
Or at
off
least you don't know
spawn. It
exactly
just
where you're going to run into them at.
well, and here's another unpopular opinion. I feel like some of these maps where there's such congested spawns, if
Yeah.
the reason that they're doing it is because there's just not room,
Lower the
lower
player
the amount
count.
of players.
I
Yeah,
agree.
take 2
I
players
agree.
off.
If you
Like,
remove 2
it's
players
not
from
gonna
ground
kill
zero,
anybody.
that would be a huge
Yeah.
upgrade to ground zero, in my opinion. 2
Yeah,
less
because
players
part of
taking
the
up 2
game
spawns in one of those tight spots is huge.
well, it's like part of the game is being able to play the game, and if you're having issues where some people aren't getting to play the game because of spawn, that's not good.
The
That's
one I
not a good
notice the
thing.
most that I get almost guaranteed kills every single raid from is I spawn Path to Lighthouse, or I spawn down into the right of Path to Lighthouse behind the village, behind Sunken Village. There's those 2 spawns. You get the one up at the Path to Lighthouse on top of the hill, and then you have one that spawns behind it, back into the left,
Yeah,
I guess, if you're looking back that way. So if
that's
you spawn high side, you literally just turn around and wait. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to move. They come right to you or they go right past you going through village. If you're on that spawn, all you have to do is rush up to fight the guy. Like it's so I abuse it. I abuse the hell out of it.
Well,
I spawn high side
another
path the lighthouse.
thing,
I just take the kill every time. I got 9 of my shooterborn. 9 of my test drive 1 kills. Not 9. 7 of my test drive 1 kills sitting there doing just that. Kill somebody, grab their
yeah.
shit, reset out, do it again. You know what I mean? It was just kind of dumb, kind of cheesy. Not a big fan of it. I shouldn't have been doing it though. And like I said, it is a personal choice to do it. But when you have so many players that do these
Well,
things and just abuse
yeah,
the spawn points, it's a problem.
the game gives you the option. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, unfortunately, it gives you the option to do it, and it's like, it's just, it's one of the things I've always hated about Tarkov is, especially if it's like an important raid, you got something you really need to do, and you
you brought a
spawn
task
in,
item
and
in, and yeah,
you just happen to spawn at the wrong spot, and someone, some of those spots like on Lighthouse where people can see you off spawn, and you just instantly
yeah.
get head tapped as you're loading in. Like stuff like that should just not happen. The maps are big enough, and if they're not, then the player counts too much. One of those two things
Well,
is wrong.
I also
If
think
there's not enough room, then drop the players.
drop the players. Yeah, I also think that the idea of having everyone spawn on the exterior of the map is kind of bad. If it's a fresh raid and we're all starting at the same time, why not place some people already somewhere, at the cottages? Why not have somebody spawn at pier or at gas station? You know what I mean? Spread it out
Well,
within
it's
the
like some
middle of the
maps.
map too, because then players can actually start to move and do things off of their spawn.
Some maps they kind of do that. Like on customs, you can spawn like right by Crack House. Like you're
You
kind of in the
can,
middle of the
yeah,
map. Like
yeah. You can spawn
you're
a
still
god
on the
spawn,
edge.
right?
Yeah, you're on the edge at one side, but
Which
it's
customs
such a
kind of
small
makes enough
map that
sense, right? Yeah, it's small enough you can work around with everybody spawning there. It's like if you rotate in the opposite direction, say you spawn God spawn and you turn left instead of going dorms and hitting marked room, you're getting in a fight. There's going to be a player coming
right.
up that hillside. You know what I mean? And it's just like these things are fixable. Those things are definitely fixable. And I'm only saying that because
Yeah,
I've been abusing it recently for test drive kills. And it's just like, I know for a fact, without a doubt, I am not the only person that does this. And I know that I'm probably one of the people that does it the least. You know what I mean? Like if you do
yeah,
it, you do
yeah,
it every raid
absolutely.
and you rack up kills. Like
Well,
it's just what you do.
there's just those kind of people that'll take any advantage they can get. Like
Yeah,
we're
over
more of the
optimizing is
both of
still
us. I just know we enjoy more of the like random
random
encounters, like
encounters, like
Tarkov,
having
like
things
it's meant to
naturally
be.
evolve into, I was
Yeah,
trying to loot this area, guy was trying to get a task item, we happened upon each other, and there was a fight, like
but
where
I
was it?
think
Well, it was just
we're
this random spot in the woods. Like I don't know, like
exactly. It just makes it feels good, like whether you live or
it
die
does.
to get in a fight
It
like
does.
that.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody cheesing something, it just for me, I just don't like
It
cheesing.
takes
Like
it
it just
out.
doesn't feel
No,
good in
yeah.
Tarkov. I don't
It
feel
does
good
not.
about it. I feel bad for the player that I kill. Like it's not good
That's
for
what gets
anybody.
me.
I
That's what gets me.
I didn't accomplish anything. All I did was take something from them. Like
Yeah. I made task
I
progress.
just
I got a
yeah.
task done 5
eh,
raids faster than I should have naturally, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just not. But something weird I've noticed this wipe, and it's specific to this wipe. I am spawning in the same spots almost
Over and
every
over.
single
Yeah.
raid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like almost every raid. I'm spawning in
I
the same
either
spots on every
get
map.
God Spawn on customs at least. I either get God Spawn or I get the one I call it God Spawn 2, Demigod Spawn. It's on the opposite side of dorms. Right there by Junk Bridge on the hillside.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
spawn
yeah,
there, I'll
yeah.
spawn God Spawn. On Shoreline, I always spawn at Road to Customs. On Lighthouse, I always spawn on Southern Road. I don't know about Factory. Interchange, I think I have spawned in different places for the most part on Interchange. It's been pretty random. But definitely Custom, Shoreline, Lighthouse, and Woods. Woods, I always spawn back at the fucking Lighthouse transit.
Yeah, yeah. I always spawn right
Every now and
there.
then I'll spawn up at
Yeah,
USEC camp. Every now and
behind
then.
Scav House. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, behind
behind
Scav
Scav
House is
House
like
on
where
that
I
hill.
always
Yep,
spawn
all the
in.
time.
Yep.
Same.
Constantly.
I just don't
But yeah,
understand it
there's a
because
few
it didn't used to be like that. I used to
no.
spawn so many different places, and this
Well,
wipe, I
it's
have just been spawning in the same exact spot almost every
if
single
it's
raid.
supposed to be random spawns for everybody in the lobby anyways, why are we getting the same spawn raid after raid after raid
Well,
after raid after raid? Like it just doesn't make sense.
it was always rumored that the person with the fastest SSD would spawn in first, so you
Take
always get the
priority
same spawn
spawns.
because
Right.
Yeah, as you're loading in, the person with the fastest SSD loaded it. Well, BSG
And they
said
have
they
certain
fixed that.
priority spawns. Yeah.
Yeah, they said they fixed that. So
Right.
it's like that shouldn't be the reason anymore. So I just don't
Well,
understand.
you think it would be the roll of a die, right? Like, okay, your spawn is gonna
Should be, yeah.
be B3, right? Like, bingo,
Well,
bitch. You know,
especially if they wait to start the game until everybody's in anyways. Like
everybody's already
that's
loaded, right?
why can't you wait till everyone's loaded, then just do a mix? Like,
Yeah,
these two people spawn on this side, these two people like it's clearly not working like that right now. There's something else going on.
yeah, yeah. It's awkward. Makes it
Yeah.
less enjoyable too, because like if you spawn the same place, you run the same route. You know, even
Dude,
though like I'm going to do this task and this task and this task, and maybe I died or I survived, but I didn't end up doing this task, I'm still gonna run that same route. I'm still gonna take it because I know it, I trust it, I do it every time. It's safe. I know where players are gonna be at. You know what I mean? Like you build safety routes, you really do. And when you get the same spawn
exactly.
repetitively, you of course you
But
run the same
it
thing. Well, why
also
would I go right instead of
sucks.
left?
It sucks if you have a certain task and you're wanting to spawn somewhere else and you're always getting the awful
Getting in the
spawn.
same spot,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, you should always have an opportunity to get a better spawn. Like, you shouldn't always get the same. And my 8 years of playing Tarkov, it's never been this bad. Like, even
No,
when it was
no.
designed on like SSD speed, like even back then I wasn't spawning the same as much.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it is weird, and I'm glad you brought it up because I hadn't really thought about it, but it's 100% the case. Absolutely, um, it's weird. It's weird. Like
It
path
is.
or lighthouse, I always or shoreline, I always spawn path to lighthouse or road to customs every single time. And lately, it's just been road to customs, and I only say that because I've been spending a lot of time on shoreline. The people I've been running within my Discord, are like trickling in, and as they trickle in, they're like, "I gotta go to shoreline. I gotta go to shoreline. I gotta go to shoreline." So like, I'm just like running shoreline repetitively. But yeah, it's either Path to Lighthouse or Road to Customs every single time. But yeah, that is interesting. Let's
Well, it
see.
just messes your game up because every time you play, you're starting from the same spot, so you're always taking the same routes. It's nice to not have to run the same routes on every map every time. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
boring.
It is. It is boring. It is absolutely boring. And like, sure, you could just start going in opposite directions, but like, we're creatures of habit. We develop something that works. You know, we have a task that we're trying to do, whatever it may be. We fall in line with like the same routes, and maybe we do, add some variety to it and go check this building instead of that. But like, if I spawn on the opposite side of the map, I might take a completely different route to get to my objective, or I absolutely will be forced to take a completely different route to my objective. Like, there's just no questions about it. Um,
Well,
and even if you
once
just say,
again,
well, I try to path randomly and I go places, you're still only hitting certain parts of the map because of where you spawned.
yeah. Well, once again, just like what we was talking with the fighting, it's like
Kind of
Tarkov
removes
needs
that
to be random.
randomness. Yeah,
Yeah, when Tarkov's not random, it just I don't like it.
I agree. Um, yeah, so Test Drive 2 sucks. Spawns need reworked. There's a few things that we think should change absolutely. And I'd say a large part of the community feel the same way. Um,
Well, I haven't been on Tarkov.Community recently, but I'm going to hop on there after this and just see what's going on over there.
yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, guys, don't forget, Tarkov.Community is still absolutely running. It's still there. I check on it every now and then. I don't post as much anymore because it's like a lot of the things that I would have posted have been posted. Um, and I haven't really ran into issues. I might go complain about Test Drive 2, but I have a funny feeling there's enough people doing that already. So, but
Well,
it's still worthwhile. Go over there and maybe you can help a post to get some sight to it. Comment on it, upvote it,
yeah, because
help
I
it
believe
spread some
that's what
awareness.
got
Maybe you have some good ideas.
Nikita talking about the spawn changes. So that's he confirmed that the light or shoreline is being reworked. So
Yeah, which is awesome.
yeah,
Other than that, there are a couple things going on. We didn't. One peg had posted a short a day or two ago or whatever it was. It's called "This is Ruining Your FPS in Tarkov." And what it is your loading screen on your main menu. When you first boot Tarkov, when you have Escape from Tarkov, character, trading, settings, all that stuff, or not settings, but like all that stuff's right there. That background that you choose to have up is always running. So when you hit escape while you're in raid, it has that loaded. So it's always going to be in the background running. And all of them, or at least the majority of them, are animated. And some of them are more animated than others. So while the factory one or the woods one doesn't really have much going on, those are probably the safest two to run. While something like the labs, the escape backgrounds, like the ones for escaping Tarkov, those ones are pretty heavy. You pretty much just only run factory or woods until they get it sorted out, if they ever get it sorted out. But it definitely is affecting your FPS because you have a bunch of extra stuff loaded in the background running and constantly
Yeah.
moving, so it's always working on it. That's happening
Causing
while it's
video RAM
running your
problems.
raid and shit like that too. So
Yeah.
it's just best
Your
to run.
GPU is constantly rendering that
Yeah,
scene when it shouldn't be. It should be throwing that into RAM and saving it there until you come back, but it's not. Um, and also, he says the hideout. Now, this one has some contention from other people. Um, he's saying, once you go into the hideout and then you leave, it never does actually exit. That you're always just the hideout's always loaded into your RAM, into your CPU. But there are other people who are saying that's absolutely not true.
yeah, I
I
don't think that's
play
true.
with a RAM counter on, and my RAM drops significantly when I leave. So
Well,
this could
there's
be one of
times
two things.
where it does stay loaded as I jump from thing to thing to thing, and then there's times that it doesn't, and I have to reload it. So I think it may just be an
Well,
issue.
what I was going to say is there's two different scenarios at play here. You have a check mark that you can check that says keep
Reload
hideout
hideout.
loaded.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that could be something to do with it. And you also have RAM cleaner. So that could have something to do with it. People who
yeah,
use RAM cleaner, it could possibly be fixing this. It could be
right. And we're
cleaning
just not
out
seeing
all
what's
that.
happening in the background after.
Well, and that could be why this isn't affecting some people and some people it is. But
Absolutely.
safest practice is if you don't need to use your hideout, don't use it. If you absolutely do need to use it, restart your game afterwards.
Yeah,
And like Ryan said, with your loading screen, use factory or woods as of right now. Those have the least amount of animations and graphics like going on right now.
yeah.
So
They're
that
the
is
safest
true.
bet.
Those do drop your FPS. So,
Absolutely.
it is useful information, but it needs to be looked into more to actually have it down to a science.
Yeah, this is
Because
still
right
pretty new
now,
information.
yeah,
But it is interesting that, and it makes sense. As soon as I saw the short,
yeah,
honestly, probably as
absolutely.
soon as we started talking about it before I even saw the short, I was like, oh, wait, yeah, because you hit escape and it loads that same background. So that makes sense. It does make sense. I just didn't expect it to always be running, which I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, yeah. The fact that they don't have
It's
it coded from when you click out of that for that to just go into your RAM. That's what your RAM's
right.
for, to throw things in
Exactly.
there.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's weird.
an offload. Yeah. It is weird. I mean, but then again, we know that the Tarkov code is spaghetti held together with fucking like duct tape or something.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not too surprised when I hear silly things like that happening. Is it unexpected? Yes. But not entirely too shocking. I kind of get it. I don't
Well,
understand it. It doesn't make sense to me, sure, because it's like, well, just throw it in the RAM. Well, but maybe there's something in the coding that just doesn't allow them to, or maybe it's something that they never even thought about or realized was happening themselves. I don't know.
but that's the other thing we got to remember. Nikita specifically told everyone at 1.0 was all hands on deck, everybody focusing on 1.0.
Yeah, time
And he
to.
said he knew that
Oh,
optimization was put on the back burner and that
in
was what they were going to be doing.
regards to
Well, I was just
optimization,
going to say, yeah, that's what they were supposed to be
Tarkov's
working
forty
on.
percent done. I have that as fact.
Yeah,
40%.
yeah. Well, like I said, he straight up said it. He said, we're using this gear now that we got 1.0 out. We're using this to optimize code, to go in and fix all the little things that have been there. So it's like,
Right.
that's probably why that's still there, is probably
Yeah,
because
it's
that's
just
something that was on
not
the
a
back burner.
priority
It wasn't
fix. Yeah,
important. Right.
yeah,
But now it is. And I think that's something they're going to get to. It
for
seems
sure.
like they're definitely on the ball as far as, listening to people's complaints and trying to fix them as best as they can. And once again, Tarkov.Community, that's what it's for. You throw things like that on there and
Gets
the
their
devs see
attention.
it.
Yep.
And yeah, they're on it. And like I said, 1.0 is done. They got content already ready. Nikita said they are like working hard on optimizing the game. So
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised to see all this get fixed.
Yeah, and then some even.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the last thing that I have to talk about this week is I feel like we may have mentioned it in a previous video or something, but DLSS 4.5, the real deal, is available. So
Yeah.
you go into your NVIDIA app and run an update. Adam will kind of break down what to look for. But yeah, DLSS 4.5 is fixing the scope bug. The fuzzy, as you ADS, it's all fuzzy. As you zoom in, it gets a little more clear, but it's still just hard to see through. 4.5 is fixing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Adam, break down like how they can get it working, I suppose.
Well, I think originally about a week and a half ago, a few posts have went up. One by Airwing Marine, and there was a few other posts where people were showing you how to get DLS as 4.5. Well, it's been simplified because now it's actually
Not in the
legitly
test
like,
phase. Yeah.
yeah, it's not in beta anymore. It's been actually released by NVIDIA. So now the difference is you don't have to have the beta NVIDIA app. Now you can just have the regular NVIDIA app, open it up, you'll have an update, do that update, but also go to your drivers. You need to be on driver 591.74. That's the other part of it. You have to have that driver. So
Yeah, you got to be current.
once you have, yeah, once you have your NVIDIA app updated to 11.0.6.379, and then you have your driver also updated to 591.74, then you're all set. Now you go into your, after you update it, close it out, then reopen it, go to your graphics tab, go to your global settings, and then look for DLSS override model presets. You click on the right side of that, it'll open the menu that says DLSS override model presets. Don't worry about frame gen, don't worry about ray reconstruction. Click on the super resolution. Now you're going to be presented with a bunch of options. The top one is recommended. Now, I haven't been able to test this a lot, but this is a new setting from NVIDIA. Recommended was not there before, but they say
Right.
this will now work on a per game basis to give you the best DLSS that you can use. So it should use DLSS 4.5. I tested it on mine and it worked fine, but that doesn't mean it's always going to work. So if it doesn't work for you, if recommended does not work, come back here, scroll all the way to the bottom and choose preset M because that is 100% DLSS 4.5.
Yep.
So anyways, one of those two will work for you. Try recommended first. If that doesn't work, try preset M. And then all you got to do is apply it, exit out of the NVIDIA app, reopen Tarkov. If you had it open, close it down, reopen it, and go to your settings and just make sure DLSS is turned on. If you have a preset turned on in Tarkov, just take the preset to normal, I think is the name it says.
Yeah, I think
If
it
you
says
don't choose an
normal.
actual,
I
like,
think. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, then test it out. There are ways to see if you're running DLSS 4.5. You got to go into your uh,
Video overlay.
what's it called? Your overlay, and you got to turn DLSS overlay on where it shows you what preset you're on. If you don't want to do that, just put your scope on that you know is blurry. If it's not blurry anymore, then you're running the new one, and that's an easier way
Yeah.
to test it. But
It'll say, if you have it turned on in the overlay, it'll say SR model OVR and then SR mode OVR. You can see it in the top right here. Those will be on and
yeah,
active while you're in Tarkov.
yeah, and it'll tell you actually like what model you're running. It should say preset M, and it should say that it's active. But yeah, it's easier now because you don't have to do the beta, and it's just been updated, so there's not as many bugs. So I've had no issue with it, and I was having issues before on the beta build.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I couldn't get it to work.
to each their own. That this might
Right.
still be buggy. I don't know, but I've had no issue.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's the fix we've been waiting for. And
Well,
it
the
seems like
biggest
it
thing
is, right?
is yeah, and Tarkov will eventually, just like they have preset K as an option, they'll eventually add a preset M as an option. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
that's when it's going to be easiest. But as of right now, you can overwrite it yourself with the NVIDIA app. So eventually, Tarkov will have it in there. I imagine they were pretty quick about adding DLSS 4. I'm sure they'll be pretty quick about 4.5.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Especially since we know
It fixes the
DLSS
scope.
4 is the issue and
Yeah,
4.5 is fixing the scope issue. So it
yeah,
is a priority fix in my opinion. That's a pretty bad
absolutely.
one to deal with. Like we've all
A
gotten used to
ton
it,
of
sure,
people
but This
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, a ton of people use the scopes. A ton of people use DLSS. I'm sure Nikita's getting, all kinds of
Plenty of
questions every
slack.
day about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a win-win. Uh,
I agree.
yeah. Now I
I
will warn
agree.
you this. I will say this. DLSS 4.5 is a little different from DLSS regularly. Normally you run DLSS and you had DLSS 3, and then when you went to 4, it's like, yeah, I get better performance, I get better image quality. With this one, you're not getting quite as good a performance. But you're getting much better image quality. You can actually take DLSS 4.5 and run it on performance mode, and now it looks as good as DLSS 4 did on
Quality.
quality mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing with 4.5 is the image quality leap. Now, yes, you still get performance increase if you drop it to performance or
Right.
drop it to balanced. But if you go head for head, like quality versus quality, this one does drop a little bit, but it's still better, but running native better than running even DLSS 3. Like it's still an
Right.
improvement, but usually it's an improvement on performance every single time. This time it's a little under, but you can fix that because the image quality is so good. You can drop a setting or two in the settings and
Yeah, in your
gain that
DLSS
performance
settings.
back, if
Yeah.
not more. Yeah.
Yep. Sick. That's a good one to put out there too. It's people may not
Well,
agree
I
with the
just
look of it, and then they don't realize is that they just have to change it, and instead they go back to like DLSS 3. So
right.
knowing that you can make it look great and still get your
Yeah.
performance, solid.
It's so good. People are taking like games, running them in 360p, and then throwing DLSS on top of them, and then doing image checks with other games that are running like native. And the 360p version with DLSS 4.5 is looking better than the native 1080p or 1440p picture.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
sick.
crazy how great
Yeah,
4.5 looks.
yeah, that's cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's insane.
But yeah, that's everything this week. I don't have anything else. Is there anything?
Nope, that's it.
All right, awesome. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Talking Tarkov, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Just don't forget to click that bell icon so you never miss an upload. We'll catch you next week. See ya.